What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. Let's talk about this game. So, things are not looking up right now. Um, Quite a few reasons for that. Go into a couple of them before I start talking about the team itself. First of all, not having Conte is hurting us, and you can see it. I mean, it is so obvious watching our midfield tonight. We had three guys in there: Bakayoko, David Luiz, Cesc Fabregas, and they were still running rings around us in the midfield. Because without that work ethic, without that hard worker in there and Conte, we don't have the same midfield. It's such a different looking midfield. It's not as hard working. It's not as quick. We got to find some way to change that. Whether it's Bakayoko's got to step up his game, whether it's you have to play somebody out of position there, but somebody's got to step up. Somebody's got to say, all right, I'll be the hard worker in the midfield. I'll be the one running around, putting in challenges. Because we got to find somebody that's going to take Conte's spot for the next 2 weeks, or else we could end this. We could end up with no wins in the next several games, and that's a scary, scary thought. So that's your first problem. Second one is we don't have a striker who's going to work every single game. It's really shocking, but watching Murata tonight, nothing from him. Batshuayi on the weekend, nothing from him. They have their moments. They have moments where they step up and they show what the quality that they have, but they're not doing much in some of these games. There are games where you need somebody to step up and say, all right, this is my game, and neither of them are doing it in the crucial games. And so I don't know what's going to happen this season. It's been Murata has the ability to take over for Costa, but he's got to have the desire that Costa had throughout most of last season. He's got to have that same fight and desire every game. It can't be I'm on fire tonight, and then the next game you're doing nothing. You got to show up every single night, and they're not doing that. Neither of them are. People were talking bad about Batshuayi after the Crystal Palace game. He doesn't have the ability. Murata didn't tonight. He really did not do anything tonight. So we've got to find a solution there. Don't know what it could be, but you need a solution there. You need a solution in your midfield, and on top of that, you need a more solid back line. You need somebody back there who's going to lead the back line and who's going to make sure that they are very comfortable and solid, because Cahill's not doing it. Without Cahill, we kept, I think, all clean sheets. I can't think of one game where we let a goal in. You bring Cahill back and we've conceded 5 or 6. I mean, there's a problem here. Your captain comes back and all of a sudden you're conceding goals. You're conceding 2 against Crystal Palace. You conceded 3 tonight when you were 2 goals up. There's an issue defensively, and a lot of it, I don't think it can be blamed on him tonight. I don't think any of the goals you can say, oh, well, Cahill should have done better there. But I do think it's a mentality. When John Terry was in the defense looked better. The defense stepped up when he was back there because he was putting in challenges, he was putting himself on the line, and people knew I can look up to him as a leader. I can look up to him and I can work hard because I'm working hard for him, for my captain. I don't think anybody looks up to Cahill like that. I don't think anybody on the team thinks I want to work hard for him. I want to be there for him. I want to do my job for him because he's not doing his job well enough. And yet he continues to play. So there's some serious issues in all 3 sections of the field, and until Conte can get it sorted out, we're going to continue to have these issues. We're going to continue to concede goals. We're going to continue to not be able to put chances away or create chances. We're going to get dominated by teams that have no business being on the same pitch with us because we have issues that are not being solved. And nobody's looking at them. Nobody's talking about them. Nobody's doing anything to change them. Cahill was a problem on the weekend. David Luiz was a problem on the weekend. They're still playing tonight. They're still starting tonight. Christensen started great, but Rudiger's still on the bench. He comes off the bench and does a great job. Why is he not playing? Why is he not playing more? So, anyway, let's talk individual performances. Courtois, same thing I said about him in the weekend. He makes the saves he needs to make, but then he doesn't make the world-class saves that keep us in the game. You watch De Gea for Man U making not just saves, he's making amazing saves to keep Man U in the game. Watch Lloris against Real Madrid. He made 3 very almost impossible saves. One with his foot, there were 2 with his hands. I mean, saves that normal keepers would be like, there's no way I'm getting to that. He's doing it. I don't see Courtois doing that as much. He made, to be fair, against Crystal Palace, he didn't have to make any of those saves. Probably should have again on the goals. But tonight, he made one, or two. I'll say the second one, the one-on-one that he made in the first half. I'll call that, a very good save. But then the three goals, the first one, yes, it's a deflection, but so, you can still get your hand to it if you're quick enough. Same thing for the volley. It's a great volley, but you can still get your hands there if you're quick enough. The header, difficult, but if you react quick enough, you can get there. So I'm not saying he's playing poor at all. Don't get me wrong. Don't put words in my mouth. Oh, he hates Courtois. He says he's not doing enough. I'm just saying, to be champions, to be a team that's going to win all these tournaments and win all of these trophies, you don't just need a good striking force or a good defensive force. You need a keeper that's going to keep you in a game. Because you're going to face teams that are just better than you on the attack. Facing off against Real Madrid or Barcelona or Man City, you're going to face teams like that are just all-out attack, that have great attacking forces, and they're going to get through your defense from time to time, and you need to know that your keeper is going to keep you in the game. And right now, I don't know if Courtois has the ability to do that throughout the entire game. He can do it for some of it. He can make some great saves, but he's not going to make the world-class saves so far that I've seen. So I want to see him making more. The Dzeko volley would be the perfect example of a save that it's a great shot, it's a great play, but I want Courtois to start making those saves. I want him to start showing he has the ability to be one of the best, if not the best keeper out there. But right now, he's a very good keeper, and I want to see more out of him. Azpilicueta on the right, he's not the same player. I was worried about it at the beginning of the season because in some of the preseason games, you could see he wasn't ready. He was a little bit behind the pace. He wasn't really doing the same defensive work he was doing last season. He did okay for the first part of the season so far, but the past two games have really showed he's off. There's something off about him. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's a mentality thing. I don't know if maybe he's not the same fitness levels, but you could see tonight. I mean, that goal that Kolarov scored never would have happened last year. There's nobody on this planet last year that could have touched it around him, ran around him, and then got the ball back. There's no way that would happen last year. He would have turned, he would have put himself in the way, he would have won the ball back, and he would have been gone, starting our counterattack. This year, it's much more likely. I don't know what's going on with him, but it's happening to him this year. And it's hurting us. Because last year, he was our best defender. He was the one that was leading the back line. Even though Cahill technically had the armband, Azpilicueta was the one doing the dirty work. He was the one that was putting in the challenges, that was making the great last-ditch challenges. This year, he's not the same player. He's a little bit off the pace. He's not as quick anymore. He's getting beat way too easily. Something's got to change. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know, whether it's mentality, whether it's physical nature. Something, though, is up with him, and it's hurting us. It's why we're conceding a lot of our goals. Christensen in the middle played pretty well for most of the game. The Dzeko volley, you might say I should have marked him a bit closer. There was another one later on where Dzeko managed to get in behind him, and he wasn't really ready for it. And luckily, he missed the header. So, he did make a couple mistakes here and there, but for the most part, he's playing with confidence that he really shouldn't have at his age, I think, what is he, 22 or 23? He's a younger defender, and he's playing like he is the senior defender back there sometimes. So I really like his work ethic. I really think he deserves to be starting over David Luiz, who's had pitiful games the past few games he's played. But, obviously that's not up to me. But if it was, I look at him, I look at the way he's playing, I look at just how confident he is back there. He's making great challenges. He's doing very well to hold up the ball and move it around. I want to see more out of him. I think he's a very good defender, and I think he can do a very good job leading our back line down the middle. Cahill on the left, he didn't make any mistakes, but he really didn't do anything to help us either. He wasn't involved in any last-ditch challenges. He wasn't involved in blocking many shots. He was just sort of there. He was out there on the field, and that was about it. I want to see more out of him. if you're going to be the captain, you should be the one leading the back line, keeping them organized, doing everything you can to keep the goals out of the net. But instead, he's kind of a spectator for most of the game. Unless he gets on the ball, then most of the time it ends up going back to the other team. But that's another problem I have. Why are you just giving the ball away with these long balls? Keep it moving, move it on the ground. You should not be, as the captain, the one sending the long balls to absolutely nobody or out of bounds. The wing backs tonight, Zappacosta on the right, Alonso on the left. Alonso had some moments throughout the game where he looked really good. He looked back to what we saw against Tottenham 2 months ago. But then there are parts of the game where it felt like he just wasn't involved. It felt like defensively he was caught out of position a couple times. Attacking wise, he put himself in some good positions, but then wasn't able to create anything with it. So I don't know. He has his moments. He has moments where he steps up and he looks like easily one of the best left backs that we've had. And then he has moments where he looks like he's just sort of a spectator out in the field. So hopefully, I don't know if it's a fitness thing with him too, because I know he plays a lot of games and he has to play full 90 minutes. But I'd like to see him step up a little bit more and, I guess, do more on the left side, because that's not really been an avenue that we've been able to attack from in the past few games. It goes to that side, we lose it, and now they're attacking down that side. So Zappacosta, on the other hand, looked pretty good defensively. His crosses were good crosses. He's sending the ball in very well. He's putting them in dangerous positions. But part of the problem was we went with 2 people up top, which means we lack one person that we normally have up there. And so, they're making different runs, and he puts in a dangerous ball, and it's not right to one of them. They both kind of turn off. Hazard and Morata both sort of turn off if it's not right to them. They're more looking for either balls on their feet, or if it's going to be flicked on, they're ready to make that run. But they're not ever ready to make a cut back and then poke it off of the defender if they win it. That's not their mindset. So even though he's putting them in very dangerous positions where the defenders have to be on their toes to clear it, it's not really helping us because nobody's making those runs. Nobody's making the near post run. They're always looking far post or in the middle. And typically he drives it in towards the near post. So I think it was just not really working with the system tonight, his crosses, but I thought he worked very hard. He's got very good ball retention skills. It's something that I noticed, it felt like every single time somebody put a challenge in on him, he'd do very well to either shrug off the challenge or put his own challenge in to keep the ball. But he did that very well, so I think he's a good option at the right wing back. And I hope, if Moses still isn't fully fit come the weekend, I really hope to see him in there over, moving Espilicueta out there, because I just don't think that works at all. Honestly, I'm surprised we didn't give up a goal late on whenever we did that, moving Espilicueta out there. Into the middle, Fabregas, David Luiz, Bakayoko. Fabregas, solid game from him overall. He's probably the one that worked the hardest out of the 3 midfielders. He's not the best defensive player, but I tell you what, he reads the game very well. He makes some good interceptions. So I will say, attacking-wise, he didn't really provide his same great passes that we're used to seeing. He did provide quite a few, but not the same one that's just like one ball and that's it. That's all you need. Most of his passes tonight were finding somebody in space, and then either that didn't work out or they were just put into space and then nobody's up there helping them. But there was nothing tonight from Fabregas. I'm just like, that was a Fabregas-esque pass. So, it was good, but I still think it could have been better to help us out more. David Luiz in the middle, great goal. That's all he had tonight. He had the goal, and that's it. Defensively, he was lazy, not really tracking back very well. He's jogging back most of the time instead of trying to run back. Just really pitiful from him overall. I don't know. I haven't been impressed with him over the past few games. Tonight was just like the crowning achievement of being lazy. He's just jogging around. Defensively, you should be the one in the midfield putting in the challenges. You are the defender in the midfield. You should be putting in challenges, keeping people from having clean shots. He's diving in. He's sticking a leg out as they're flying past him. It looked like Mikel. And I thought we were done with Mikel, but it looked like David Luiz channeled the spirit of Mikel tonight, and that was all he had. Except, obviously the goal was not a Mikel goal. He would never score. But yeah, I was really, really disappointed with him. And honestly, if he sees the field again over the next couple games, I would be a little upset. I don't think he deserves to start after what I've seen from him. The lack of thinking, the naivete of it all. He doesn't deserve to start after what we've seen. Bakayoko, pretty good overall. Not the best, but it was okay. He put in some good defensive challenges. He did well to hold up the ball sometimes in the midfield. But I want to see a little bit more out of him. I want to see a little bit more work from him whenever we need him to. Not just, oh, he runs up to pressure and then that's it. He got passed around a few times because that's typically what he does. He puts pressure, they pass, he's done, they're making a run, and now they're in behind him. So I want to see a little bit more out of him. I want to see that extra fire that I think he does have. We just haven't seen much of it. Hazard and Morata up top. Hazard, looked back to what we see more out of him. We didn't see it against Man City, didn't really see it against Palace. Tonight he looked more like the Hazard that we know and love. I will say, only having two up top doesn't really suit him just because he needs more people to play off of and run off of him. And I think, obviously Willian hasn't looked good, but Pedro is an option. I think, Musunda would be an option. He wasn't on the bench, but I just feel like you need two people up there with Hazard because he needs more options to run off of. If you don't give him those options, if it's just Hazard and a striker up there, I think the defense typically will just crowd you out. They'll throw 3 or 4 bodies on you, and now you don't have as much room to run and pass. So I just want to see, I guess, 3 up top will help out Hazard a lot more. But even with just playing 2 up top, still scored a goal, still scored 2 goals. Found himself in some good room, did very well to put pressure on the defense, so still good work from him tonight. And then Murata, just like I said, not seeing much from him. He had a few moments where he did well, but then had some moments where he just not involved at all. He's gone, not on the field. So I don't know what to say. I still think Batman should have started tonight just because he's done better in European competitions, and Murata's done well in the Premier League. So save Murata for the weekend, use Batman tonight, but whatever. On to the subs. First one to come on was Pedro for David Luiz. Easily the best sub, the only good sub in my opinion. Pedro provides just work rate, even if his final product can sometimes be a little bit lacking. His work rate to win the ball back is always really good. He's an option I think you might want to use in midfield if, without Conte in there, you need somebody who's going to work hard and try to win the ball back. Pedro can do it. I know he's a bit more attacking, but I just think he provides a work rate that not many other players do. But he did well tonight. Came off, got an assist for Hazard's second goal to equalize. So, really liked his work rate. Rudiger came on. I thought he did pretty well, even though it moved Spilicueta out to the right. I thought he put in a good hard work rate tonight. Just something that I think we do need. I think we need him out there. He does a very good job at reading the play and putting himself in a good defensive position. So, and then the last one was Willian. Came on, did what he's done the past few games, giving away the ball and not really providing much. So I don't know what's going on with him, but he's definitely not the same player that we've seen over the past few years. So, but that's about it. I don't know. It's frustrating to tie. It's frustrating because we're not really putting games away like we should. We're not the same team that we have been in the past. We're more of a Liverpool, where we look pretty good in the attack, we get some goals, but defensively we look really weak. So that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this game? What do you want to see in the weekend? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews. I'll see you guys in the next game. Peace out.